Hey, what's up, YouTube?
Just want to draw your attention right here out of the gate before I get started talking just about the overall experience. To your left here, you're going to see this guy, LCR Kit, take off, and he leaves us in the dust. Learning experience number one was to be ready for something like that out of the start because I've done a lot of research on Cat 5 races, and one thing that I thought would happen was that somebody always reels that in. As it turns out, nobody did, and as you see him riding off into the sunset, we basically let him get he got a half a lap on us, and we never really saw him again. So that was unfortunate, and I think if anything, just learning that you got to be ready right out of the gate. So with that said, there were 11 riders who were riding in the Cat 5 race, which is the one I'm in here, and it was a great race. It was a very clean race. It was fast. It was basically exactly what I expected, and I think for me, just going forward, probably realize a lot of the areas that I need to improve on. One of the big ones was corners. I did a horrible job, especially let's call that. Well, there's a turn that kind of goes up the hill right before you go back to the start finish line. It was a tight turn, and I think I just it was the worst. Right here, you can see coming out of this corner, they had a big dumpster like parked right in the road, so that was a little sketchy. You had to watch out for that as you came around that corner. But fortunately, there was no incidents all day long. The overall race strategy, I think my hope was that we would be able to get some kind of teamwork going here and maybe start to close the gap that had been created. I don't think that ever really happened. One thing that is interesting, the guy that actually ends up winning the race is there in the black kit. He's 2 bikes in front of me, or now directly in front of my bike. He ends up winning, and then there's a guy in front of him who is in the red jersey, and he ends up getting second place. I'm obviously not an expert. Like I said, this is the first time that I've ever ridden a race, a crit race, and I really didn't have any idea what to expect going in. I was wanted to mostly treat it like a learning experience, and hopefully not crash, and if I could finish the race and not get dropped, or at least be somewhat competitive, then it was a successful day. So that was kind of what I was thinking going into this. You can see there, that's the turn I was talking about. That was just really difficult for me. But yeah, if I was over the next 2 weeks, if I get to do this again, I think some of the things I'll work on are just the acceleration, power output for short intervals, just because I lost so much momentum through the turns, and then the other thing is cornering. I was really struggling to corner and not lose momentum, and then thirdly, kind of felt like I was just sort of not finding my place on the track, or getting pushed out of my line a little bit. So I got to figure out what to do with that. But yeah, so right here in front of me, you got the guy who wins and third place. I really didn't even realize that these guys ended up on the podium because they were with us, for the first third of the race. It was really cool. Kind of, my assumption when I saw the gap that was created there in that initial gap that was created right out of the start line was that nobody was going to be able to catch him. So it was really cool that these guys ended up catching him, and it would have been even cooler if I'd have been able to hold on to their wheels while they did it, but that didn't happen. So the track was in great condition. They had some guys out with the leaf blowers cleaning up all the gravel. This turn here was kind of a tailwind as you went into that turn, and so it was really fast. And then there's the dumpster that made it a little scary also. And so a few laps into it, I kind of started, feeling a little more natural when it came to taking the corners. But there was a couple of guys there who are leading this group here. They were fun to ride with. I didn't get their names, but they played strategy really well. It was a bit transparent, and I think they very effectively, were kind of working the group and trying to get some people to get on the front and do some work. So that was interesting. We said, yeah, here going down the hill. This is the speedy turn, and kind of had us a little skittish. There'll be a move coming up here on the front where I just want to point out the guy that ends up winning goes to bridge up with the guy who's got the big gap. The pace of the race was mostly in the mid-20s. It ended up, it was a 25-minute effort. We ended up covering about 8 miles, so very, very manageable as far as how that goes. Here's one spot where I kind of got taken over into the grass, and I never really found my line coming out of that turn. I always felt like I was just taking it a little wide, or if I tried to not go so wide, I ended up losing a lot of momentum. And here's another example of me just being really boneheaded at taking the corner, and then I fall back, so then I have to put in a big effort to be able to catch back up. One thing is I usually have a power meter display when I do this kind of stuff, but my power meter is on the blink, so I didn't have any visible indication of what kind of efforts I was having to do to close this gap, but obviously, it was substantial. Really, strategy-wise, and the only place I could find a groove on the track was to kind of hang here in the back, and it's not a horrible place to be, at least at this point in the race. You see a move going on the outside. That's Saeed. I met him tonight. He super fast kid, and I think he was one of the ones who ended up very close to me at the finish line and at the sprint. So here we are coming down the tailwind section. You can see going into this turn 22 miles per hour. Actually was pretty happy with the corner on that time, but the pace is picking up, and really, if we had any hope of closing down the gap, we got to be able to keep up some kind of pace here. And what I think, you can see the move going off the front there. There goes the eventual race winner, and I kind of got stuck back here with these gaps opening up, and here comes an opportunity to try to get back on. It was difficult. Nobody really wanted to close gaps, including me, and so it would have been nice to be in a position to be able to hold on to the wheel and close down that gap. You can see he's almost out of sight now, so he's gonna go run down the guy who left from the start line. And here there's kind of a you can see that the pace is slowing down. We're down to 20, and everybody's just looking around at each other like, all right, who's gonna go? Unfortunately, nobody does. You can see the pace continues to drop. We're down to 16 miles per hour, and at this point, the gap between us and first and second place is just just getting bigger. So I'm in a tough position because yeah, I'm out here on the front and playing. My strategy would have been to not get in the wind at all, and so again, not really doing any work myself. Looking for an opportunity for somebody to help out. So here we go again, still kind of riding out in front of this this main group, and paces up to 22 miles per hour. You can see there the group kind of sneaking up around, still looking for somebody to help do some of these pulls. Here comes Saeed back to the front. There's a little hill that you climb there, and that's probably one of the better turns that I did throughout the day, at least on that corner. So right here, kind of the home stretch, you can see I got squeezed into that pylon there. Right here's a move the guy in blue in front of me is going to make, where I'm kind of out here on the outside, and he takes the opportunity just right here to go left. I couldn't get over there to grab his wheel, and you can see the guy in red takes off after him, and then they'll do this last corner, and that sprint there would be for third place. I got really wide on that turn. I don't know what I was thinking, and anyway, got over in the grass and slowed me down. So I didn't have much left in the tank. My heart rate's 183, so that's max heart rate for me. And there's the guy who just nosed past me for the 5th spot. But all in all, sixth place out of 11 spots. Not bad. If you want to see more of these races, I plan on doing a few more of these. Hopefully I'll be improving as I continue to learn. So hit the subscribe button and let me know what you think in the comments. I appreciate you taking the time to watch it, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks.